2024 is the year to be a Godzilla fan. We recently got Godzilla -1 from Toho. We also have Monarch Legacy of Monsters on Apple Plus, and this spring we have Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. As well as so much merchandise, it makes your wallet cry.
Stop it, please, I beg you!
To food like soda, salsa, hot sauce, coffee, barbecue sauce, even a McDonald's promotion. Granted, it's only in Japan and not in the rest of the world. Godzilla is everywhere, but there's one media the Big G has been absent from for far, far too long.
Godzilla!
Video games. Godzilla has been abruptly absent from any sort of video game media outside of crossovers and cross-promotions for almost a decade now. I grew up playing the Godzilla Pipeworks trilogy on the PS2 and the Wii. In fact, those games are the reason I'm a Godzilla fan today. I remember sinking countless hours into Godzilla Unleashed on the Wii, right next to Wii Sports and Mario Kart Wii, of course. Sinking hundreds of hours into Godzilla Save the Earth on the PS2, next to the Grand Theft Auto trilogy, and playing Destroy All Monsters Melee on the Wii because Destroy All Monsters Melee was the only Nintendo GameCube game I ever owned as a kid. And the trilogy to this day is still fun to go back and play, even if some of them, well, mainly Unleashed because of the motion controls, hasn't aged that well. But what made these games so enjoyable for me was just the creative liberties that the developers Pipeworks did with the trilogy. Instead of going for realism and the weight of Godzilla monsters, they opted for a more wacky, zany, over-the-top fighter like Smash Bros. And these games still have a huge following in the fanbase today. Then the year 2014 rolls around. We get a new movie that starts a new universe known as the Monsterverse. It's the franchise's 60th anniversary. And of course, that one announcement at the 2014 Game Awards show. Man, this trailer still gives me goosebumps to this day. I remember being just excited, thinking finally, a graphically next-gen looking Godzilla game that isn't exclusive to a wacky motion control centered console that has a pretty decent sized roster of monsters to play from. I practically remember my sophomore year when I would take breaks from doing schoolwork to just go on my iPad, yes, we had iPads at my school, to just look at articles about the game and just watch trailers and monster reveals, and oh man, I was just so excited. And I remember Christmas of 2015 getting a PlayStation 4 and this game, and well,
Godzilla is approaching the generator. The generator is losing power. All generators in the area are destroyed. Godzilla is approaching the generator. The generator is losing power. The generator's power levels are at 0. Generator offline.
Needless to say, the game was universally panned for its clunky controls and repetitive gameplay. Needless to say, while I personally somewhat did enjoy the game, it just got really, really old and repetitive for me extremely fast. I mean, honestly, what else can I really say about this game that hasn't already been said? And after this, we would not see another home console Godzilla game for almost 10 years at this point. And even if you wanted to play Godzilla on the PS4 today, well, good luck getting a copy. Since Godzilla was a licensed property, Bandai Namco was forced to delist this game back in 2017, with physical copies going for a whopping $600? Yes, due to the limited print run of this game in North America, Godzilla on the PlayStation 4 has become incredibly rare. And ever since the commercial and critical failure of Godzilla on the PS4, things for the Big G in the realm of video games just haven't quite been the same. What would ultimately follow after Godzilla on the PS4 would be countless mobile games that vary in quality. From one that I can't even remember because I never got a chance to play it before it was delisted, to a real-time strategy battle, to a game where you just tap your phone screen for fun. I'm not kidding. Those little circular things you see on the screen, that's just a person tapping on the screen. That's your game. While we would receive collabs from mainly the legendary side of things with the Monsterverse, such as Operation Monarch in Call of Duty Warzone, as well as the skins in Call of Duty Vanguard, as well as a PUBG crossover, in other small mobile games here and there, it just seemed like Toho nor Legendary wanted to step their foot back into the home console/PC game realm. It just seemed that all hope had been effectively lost, that we would probably never see another Godzilla home console or PC game ever again. Well, that is, until we got a certain DLC for a certain game. Passion Republic's Gigabash would ultimately scratch that itch that a lot of Godzilla fans that are gamers, or Kaiju fans that are gamers, or people who enjoy these games in general, it would just scratch the itch that we desperately needed to be scratched for so long. There was something that made Gigabash stand out from other Kaiju games that released in 2023. Gigabash, a kaiju fighting game, had official Godzilla DLC. This had given a lot of people in the Godzilla community hope for the possibility of a standalone Godzilla game, and considering the positive feedback and sales of the DLC, we could be getting something bigger in 2027 to celebrate the King's 70th anniversary. And I have a few pieces of evidence that could support my theory. On Twitter, Pipeworks had posted a blog about the making of the original Godzilla trilogy, and interestingly enough, within said blog, they also mention the modding community as well. But we'll come back to the modding community in a little bit. As well as Atari themselves mentioning that they would like to see a remaster of this trilogy, and probably outright confirming that Night Dive Studios would be responsible for said remasters. FYI, Night Dive Studio is the same studio that did the modern re-release of Doom 64, as well as one of the Gigabash devs putting out a tweet asking what the team should go for, mentioning more crossover DLCs, original characters, game modes, or an official Godzilla game, I can't help but feel deep down that something is in the works. And what that something might be, well, we'll just have to wait and see what 2024 holds. Not to mention that 2024 marks the 20th anniversary of Godzilla Save the Earth. I just can't help but feel that we might get something. And if you can't wait or don't want to wait, then I would highly recommend checking out the ambitious Godzilla Save the Earth Melee project. Save the Earth Melee is an incredible, ambitious project, a mod for Godzilla Save the Earth that intends to overhaul the entire game mechanics, add new ones, as well as add new content and characters. And a lot of the stuff the talented dev team has done in terms of models, textures, soundtrack, and gameplay mechanics is really worth checking out and supporting. There's even a demo available for the game as well. Essentially, this is Project M, but for Godzilla Save the Earth. I myself have played the demo and I had a blast with it. The link to one of the main devs' channel, Gojirex, will be in the description below. Go give him and his talented team the support they deserve. I'm going to close out this video by saying while Godzilla is a film franchise first and foremost, I think it would mean a lot to people like me, as well as others, if we got some new Godzilla game for 2024. Whether it would be an official remaster of the older Pipeworks game, or a new game in general, I think I and a lot of other people would welcome it. Toho, it's been well almost a decade since Godzilla on the PS4. I think it's high time you let go of that fear and try making another console/PC game. With that being said, this is Phantom Kaiju, signing out, and I'll see you in the next one.